Hey everybody, I'm Dees Hinton with Central Mississippi Real Producers. We are coming to you again today from Partee Studios, and thanks to Kaylin Partee and Partee Photography for working with us on our podcast. We are here today to talk to a superstar realtor. It's a realtor that we featured, and I had to dig deep to find the feature. Yeah. It is Dwight Barnes, and we'll get to Dwight in just a minute. But this is, I think, podcast number 8.
I was counting the other day.
I think it is number 8. But what we're doing, for those of you who may just be tuning in for the first time, Real Producers is all about identifying and celebrating the top producing real estate agents in our area, and that's what we do. And our whole goal is to build relationships among the top producing real estate agents in our area, and that's pretty simple way to explain it. The other part of what we do is connect our top agents with top industry professionals that these agents work with on a regular basis, and develop those relationships. So. Real Producers, at Real Producers, we're living life at the speed of relationships. That's pretty much the best way I know to say that. So I've got with me today Gingelyn Wallace, who is the Creative Marketing Director for Central Mississippi Real Producers, and also is the owner of G Designs, a interior design and staging company as well. Gingelyn, welcome today.
Thanks.
And then also we have with us Dwight Barnes. Dwight is with the Agency House, and we're going to be talking to Dwight today. And really, quite honestly, what we do is very similar to what we do in our magazines, which is tell the stories and share the success, just all about real estate agents, and all about Dwight. So welcome, Dwight, and Gingelyn, you got anything you'd like to?
I got a few questions for you.
Oh, let's go.
Dwight, thanks for being here with us today. We are excited to talk to you and kind of hear what you've been up to since 2020, is that right?
January of 2020.
So we've got this article here that was back in 2020.
This is one of the coolest features that we've done. The photography was great, and went downtown on Capitol Street, in the middle of the street, and so forth. So it was a very cool feature that we did back in January of 2020. So it's great to be with you again, Dwight, and I'm excited to talk to you today on our podcast.
Yeah, I'm glad y'all had me here. So, you sent the message out, and I said, of course.
Yeah, good.
Support those who support me. So.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Well, tell us a little bit before we jump into your career. Just tell us about you. Who were you maybe before real estate, your family, whatever you want to share.
All right. So I'm married to my beautiful wife, Jasmine Barnes. We have a 7-year-old, Kingston Barnes, and then we have a 2-year-old, Atlas. So, a lot of fun.
I like those names. Those are fun.
Thank you. It's like everything we was getting used to. The 7-year-old, things bouncing out. Now we back to back at it again.
That gap is real.
Yeah.
I have one of those. I have a 14-year-old, and then the next one's 9. So
I
know about it.
I did too. I have daughters that are 5 years apart too. So yeah,
it was just like surprise.
Yeah.
I know what you experienced with King,
right?
And I'm Atlas.
Yeah.
So it's a little different. Before I got into real estate, I was a salesman at a local company here, small business here, and I had started that right after I got out of college. Okay. I had one more class left at Ole Miss, and so I came back home to save up money, work to save up money to pay for my last course, and I bumped into a family friend in between that time, and he was like, "Hey, man, you should really think about real estate." And what was so crazy is that in high school I wrote, I'm big on goals, so in high school I wrote the goal down, real estate. Didn't know what it was, didn't know what it meant, but I had it on there, real estate, and it was like one of those full circle moments. Yeah. So I was like, oh snap, let me jump into this. It's because I was like, I know what I can do in sales. Jumped into the real estate business, way different than selling within the four walls. You know, you're talking about homes and everything.
That's right.
So we jumped in, and I had to learn early, because I came in really full throttle, wanted to be the what was it, rookie of the year at my very first brokerage that I worked at, and I was like, yeah, so I got to be rookie of the year. How you say, hey,
you want
I
to be the
wanna
best.
do this, I want to do this. Then you think it's going to be easy from what you saw.
Right.
I thought I was going to put on the badge and people was going to say, hey, congratulations, you're gonna be my agent.
That's right.
Right? And I mean, when I first went in completely full time, it was one of the hardest times for me in the business, because I went through everything bad I felt as a lesson. I learned I had to, deals not working out. People like, hey, I'm gonna go this route and so forth. So I went from seeing pending deals to no deals.
Right.
And I was like, whoa, this is different.
Yeah.
And so I had to figure out a strategy on how to really tap in, because, I looked at it and I said, if you're going to be rookie of the year, you want to be a top producing agent, you got to really figure this thing out and really give it your all. So the crazy thing about it is I had come from being a top salesman at my last place of business, right? And so my mindset was to be number one. I wasn't pleased with the numbers that I had produced as that was part-time at the time. And when I said I was going to be rookie of the year, because it's your first year.
Yeah.
And so I didn't go to the banquet. I'm one of those people that I had to ask before I go somewhere, did I win an award?
Not showing up.
Yeah,
Not showing up.
Like, I don't want to do that awkward smile. Like, it's a long ride home.
Right.
Yeah, so I didn't go. And then it turns out I was rookie of the year.
Stop.
Yeah. They never gave me that award because I didn't go. And it's understandable.
There's a lesson.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
it's a lesson.
Should have gone.
Yeah, it's acts first. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And so, but from there, I've just been enjoying this business.
What year did you get started in real estate?
I started next year will be 7 years from now. You got me counting on the spot, and this is live, so I can't.
I know that's like how many podcasts have we done?
2016,
I feel you.
2016 or so.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
See, he's doing the math.
I know.
Take the load off my shoulders. But yeah, that's when I started.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you went from being part-time, felt like it was kind of harder than you expected, jumped in full-time, and what did that look like?
Yeah, so I did the part-time, wasn't really pleased with it. I said, well, because real estate, in my opinion, if you take a step back and really study it, it's one of those businesses where you have to respect it. If you don't respect it, it will reflect on your production. So that's when I said, well, let me save up some money, then I go and do full-time. And when I did the full-time, I think when I did part-time, it was 7 deals, and then my first year full-time was between 19 and 20 deals.
Wow.
Then jumped to 45, and then it jumped to 72. And today I just closed on house number 289 of my career.
Wow, that's awesome.
So how did you, or what would you say looking back was the difference between the part-time and the full-time? Was it just spending more time at it?
Yeah, because the part-time, also at my, also where my mind was is if you're in sales and you're in a sales position, and it was a highly competitive business to be in at the time, because the person who sold the most, made the most, and stuff like that, and I was breaking records there. I was averaging about over $100,000 worth of merchandise sold. And you're talking about appliances, beds and TVs. Yeah. So, and it got to the point where I said I had to take it further. And then, so I said, well, no way can I be the agent that I want to be if I'm still here, because I'm focusing on this one, trying to give it here. And then someone, hey, can you show me this house? Or Now I go door to door. I'm still door knocking.
I know we got to talk about that.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I say your name, people go, "Oh, that's a door knock guy," and I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, talk about your sales strategy.
Where did that come from?
It came from. So I was talking to an agent at the time at the old brokerage, and just throwing out ideas. And she was like, I had been YouTubing too. You know, it's like, hey, what can I do to make me successful? And I was looking at stuff, and people was like door knocking. And this guy was like, how to make $1 million, you know, door knocking in a year. I was like, what? I was like, that's crazy, you know. And then also, I felt like at the time everything was digital, like go digital, go digital. Then I was like, man, if at that office 100+ agents going digital, then what's going to separate me from them? And then that's just in the office. And so also I understood that I was going up against agents that's been in the business 10 years, 15 years. They had a name for themselves. And then you had those agents that come out the gate, they're just hot. They just know the right people.
Right.
And so
connections.
Yeah, the connections. And so I was in my mid-20s, and so my peer group, they weren't purchasing homes like I sell now.
Sure, yeah.
At a more average pace. It was more of like my first time home buyers at the time. You know, of course prices have gone up now, so it's a little different. When I came in, it was this is still a big deal, in my opinion. You know, I remember I got my first big deal at the time. It was like 215,000.
Right.
I was like, man, yeah. I finally hit the 200 mark, you know. And so, which, you know, I still appreciate those deals.
Absolutely.
And I was like, well, at the time, my age group was like, hey, 150, 175,
right,
130.
Absolutely.
Now those homes now are like two plus.
That's right.
And so, you know, home values are going up. And so I said, well, in order for me to reach a different core, I need to figure out a different strategy. So Leslie Ratcliffe is the agent. And we were talking. She was like, have you ever read this book, Zero to Diamond? And he was like, this guy door knocks and stuff. So I was like, another full circle moment, you know. And so I went out, was going door to door. And it got to the point where it was 5 to 6 days out of the week.
You were just knocking
consistent.
on doors.
Yeah, and it was at that point, it was between, I would be out there some days 2 hours, some days 3 hours, some days 4 hours. Wow. I mean, going subdivision to subdivision. And you never know how big a subdivision is until you start knocking on every door. Yeah, knocking on every door. And at first it was slow. It was like I wasn't seeing anything. But also what I studied this business to understand that it's not a quick return type of situation. Just because you put in the work today does not mean you will see it tomorrow or, you know, or the next day. Sometimes it takes, you know, 3 months. And so we call it the compound effect. And I believe that it strengthens numbers. So if you stay consistent, I door knocked. I always posted that I was out there. So when people saw it, bam. So I was killing 2 birds with 1 stone, doing it the traditional way, talking to sellers, because I enjoyed listing homes, and I knew that was going to be where I wanted to go.
You were probably running across some for sale by owners doing that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I actually listed a few for sale by owners that way. Yeah. Some I never met at the time. I just left the flyer because it was it wasn't like I was intentionally going for them. I was just out there,
right?
Canvassing the neighborhoods that met what I was looking for as far as days on the market, how many homes were selling in the subdivision, and so forth.
Right.
So it worked out like that, and a lot of times, I would get majority of my business from the social media presence, which is still similar today. And so, I pick up buyers from there. And I was like, well, it's not technically what the goal was. The goal was to get listings. However, when you think about it, the goal is to get business and to promote yourself and to stand out. And so that's how that.
That's
happened.
incredible.
Thank you.
Did you ever have any crazy moments with that? Like,
so many. That's why I wrapped my first car. So, before, you know, and that's how I felt. I had several moments where I felt like this was meant to be, in the sense of the direction I was going.
right.
Because the first time I door knocked, it was like incredible. It was like this. I knocked on the door, and these people said, "Hey, I just got approved for $325,000." I was like, "Oh man,
Wow.
let's go." I was like, "Yeah, let's go."
This is working.
Never sold them a house. They never bought anything. However, that was a sign. I was like, "Oh wow, I'm meeting the people." This is because several agents at the time asked me why I was doing it. It's like, "Hey, why are you doing this door knocking thing? You're only touching one person at a time. You could be doing the marketing." And, that's why I was telling you earlier, I like to mind my business, unless someone asks for my opinion on it. I like to mind my business. And because you never know what
that's a good practice, by the way.
Yeah, you never know what somebody's strategy is, right?
Right.
And that's why it's good to walk in your own calling or your path. If you believe in something, you should do it your way. Because if I looked at certain things that made me feel like I should be listening to me at this time, and after that, the next following year, it was, can you teach classes? And so forth.
Right. People went from, are you sure you should be doing that? To,
Yeah.
Can you come teach us how to do this?
Yeah. If you do it this way and do it that way, and I'm like, well, everyone has a different way of doing it. It's so much business out here, and you just never know. Everyone can't door knock. Everyone won't feel comfortable with doing that.
Right.
Some people pick up the phone and call 1,000 people in a month.
Right.
Everyone's not going to invest their time in that. Some people do mailers. Some people focus on buyers. So it's a buyer seminar. So I feel like when it comes to it, you should practice the business as much as possible throughout the week. I will say I do believe every agent should at least try to talk to 20 people a day, minimum. I think we all could do that. So if I was giving out a strategy, how can you talk to 20 people a day? Yeah. Could it be door knocking? Could it be sending out a text message?
It's a numbers game.
Yeah, a numbers game, and you got to be consistent and track it and treat it like a business, and not that's another reason why I wrapped the car as well. But back to what you're saying, I did have crazy things. So
tell us a story.
Yeah. So I had the police called.
Oh my goodness.
About the door knocking and stuff.
This guy's knocking on people's doors.
Yeah, you're knocking on people's doors. I'm like 5 doors down. So,
Right.
The police came and they saw I had the flyers, and then I got to the point where I would drive around the neighborhood first, see if a cop lived there, and then knock on their door first and let them know what I was doing. Another crazy story was, so this one particular subdivision was having break-ins, and it was saying people was disguised as cable people. And I'm like, but this neighborhood, if you saw where I had parked my car and where I had walked, it would take like 20 minutes for me to
get back to your car.
Get back to a car with something of value,
Right.
And so it just didn't make sense. And the guy was like, hey, you're not going any of my neighbors' doors. I'm going to call the cops. Can't be. And then so once again, I reached out to a police officer. He said no, he doesn't own those parcels. But if you run into someone like that again, just walk and just focus on it. And then at the same time, when the neighbors, he said, man, I understand what you're doing. I understand that real estate is a tough business, but you're going about it the wrong way. That's what he told me. Wow. And I said, I was like, oh, another full circle moment. I'm on the right path. I said it was 72 houses that year. So, but I was like, man, the only thing I feel that at that time is I didn't get the guy's address or a number.
So you could tell it. Yeah. So if you're listening,
yeah.
You're wrong about that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was crazy. You had those. So now what I do is I have my truck wrapped, and so I still knock on the doors, but I may, instead of just parking, just take the car,
that way they
drive
can
right
see
there,
it.
you can see it. And
no, you're a professional.
yeah, definitely.
There you go.
Because nobody want any problems.
Yeah, people get nervous in this day and age. And people start knocking on the door. But I think that's such a great concept, and definitely made you stand out from the crowd,
thank you.
And kind of give you a name.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's still what people say about Dwight. They're like, yeah, that's that door knock guy.
Hey, let me ask you about a couple of things.
Okay.
Number one, you've been in 7 years. How did it go for you during COVID, and what did you do different there then? Mm-hmm. And then number two is in the last 7 years, you've seen financial market swings with mortgage rates go way down and now back up to, I'd say, moderate. And they're not terrible, but and so how was the world for you during those times?
Yeah, so when I got in, rates were considered like very good, 4% and 5%.
Yeah,
and that was around time purchased my first home as well. And COVID worked out good for me. It was great because I had already done so much legwork, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And then also I had invested in a real estate coach, which I have a real estate coach, still do. Because I was like, it was one of the things where I was studying the business. And I said, how can I go from the guy that sells 40 houses to XYZ amount of homes? And I said, should I go partner up with the person that's selling 40 houses or 50 houses? Or should I go with the person that has a track record of 100 or 200 homes a year? I chose the person with the 200.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And that was the same thing about when I was listening to, when people were saying you're going the route, and I'm like, I'm projected to do this. And so I got with them. In the beginning of COVID, everyone was nervous. I was nervous.
Yeah, everybody
What's going to happen? Because everything was shutting down.
Yeah.
Different marketplaces had it worse than others. Right. Some people could not sell at all. Fortunately for us, we were able to sell. Mm-hmm. And I remember one time I was having like a negative thought process. Mm-hmm. My coach picked up on it. She's like, hey, who you been talking to? Mm-hmm. This is what's going on. And then once after that conversation, I embraced it. We came up with systems, and everything was, able to work itself out. Now, this year, I would say this has been a tough real estate year. Now, COVID was tough on the fact that I felt like every 3 months something was changing. Mm-hmm. How we were negotiating.
You never knew, right?
And that's where I had the upper hand when it came to negotiations, because my coach was coaching from a larger market out of state.
Right.
And so they was teaching us how to do the negotiation strategies on how to win and everything like that. So I took those strategies and applied them to my business here. So I feel like that was a great way to get some insight to the business. Now, this year, like I said, we're battling something different. It's not it's more of race. It's not, hey, we shutting down and stuff. It's you talking money, finances. Right. Some the cost of living is going up, but employment as far as salaries are not really matching, balancing out. And then also you have everyone has an opinion on our market. And I feel like maybe because this is what I'm tapped into the most, I feel like our market is really under attack on a mainstream level, on a local level as well. Everyone with the podcast that's not real estate based on the positive way, they're saying, hey, rates are high, this is a terrible time to buy, crash, and all this other stuff. And then on the other hand, you have people saying, things are going to work itself out. This is what you got to do. And so when you're dealing with that client, this may be their first home. This could be their second, third. Everyone has someone that they lean into for advice, whether they're in the market, in the field or something or not. Yeah. Same thing, similar how my little sister reached out to us and said, hey, looking to get a car. Can y'all go? And I'm like, I don't know anything really about cars. But it's one of the things, like same with the house.
Right.
You know, you lean on to someone and for their opinion, and they may not have as much insight. And the person that's looking, the client that's looking, just may have more trust. They don't know you like that. So now you have to talk them through it and give them information. And this has been a year of information, just giving out information, letting people know homes are still buying, selling, people are buying, selling, and so forth.
Right.
So just fighting through that part. And I feel like
people love to give advice about things they don't know anything about.
Right. But you know, the negativity is what drives the views up. You know, I was thinking about when I was here on the way here. I said, man, I maybe should I scream out something that's really crazy. Let him, stamp it.
That's right. That's right.
And like with the
Cut
caption,
me a little slice.
Yeah.
You'll have to teach me how to do that.
Yeah, just blurt out something wild and let that be like the timestamp or the thumbnail. Yeah, and then when somebody watch it, none of that is in there. Yeah. Well, to run up the views and everything, but yeah, it's one of those things that I feel like the fear is what drives the views up. So people are going to have different opinions, and everyone's experience is not the best.
That's true.
You may talk to a real estate agent that feels like this market is great. Someone may say it's terrible.
Right.
When they're be an agent anymore, it's just about the perspective and how you're approaching the situation.
Right.
So that's my thought process.
Yeah.
It is, and I've been around for a long time, and there's going to always be financial market swings. 2007, 2008 is a good indication of that with the housing mortgage industry, and but I think you would probably agree that relationships are just vitally important to long-term people that are trying to be in business for a long term. That's what keeps you in business. That's what keeps you getting business, regardless of what the financial markets look like at the time. So, So
majority of my business comes from referrals.
Yeah, that's what.
I call them the client family. So majority of them come from the client family. The deal that I closed on today was a referral from a buyer who purchased their first new construction this year, and this buyer ironically purchased a new construction as well. And that's why we're going. This is the third gala that I'm doing on December 9th of this year, where it just celebrates my clients.
You want
to talk about that?
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah. It's one of those situations where you want to have your phones down because we party.
Yeah, I love it.
Just being in the moment.
Yeah.
Last year and this year we're gonna do it again. We had a live band, so this time in the beginning of the show we're gonna do. I call it show. Sorry. In the beginning, we're gonna have a live performance. Okay. We're gonna have a DJ, another live performance, and another DJ. That's 2 live performances. That's 2 DJs. Open bar. Food. There's everyone dresses up. We're gonna have this guy called Party there.
Party.
Yeah, Party.
Oh no.
And I said, you know what? This is the reason I can barely afford Party. I see it now. You know what I'm saying? I said, yeah, Party is just living the high life. You know?
Yeah, man.
We know.
And so
he's up there at the top.
Yeah. So man, it's just.
And this is for your clients. So this is like an appreciation.
Free event. They come and
have
we all dress up, and it's gonna be third one. Last year was a lot of fun. The year before that was fun as well. And I just feel like it just keeps getting bigger and better.
Sounds awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Y'all should come.
I was about to say you want D's and O's to come check it out.
Yeah. I already sent the invitation out.
All right.
I told Party to let y'all know. He didn't.
I hadn't heard about that yet.
Come on.
Where's my invite?
Yeah. But no, that's one thing. I used to do a Halloween Boo Bash. I didn't do it this year. I did another day party for my clients. I like to do something every quarter in a sense.
Yeah, I went bowling with you once.
Did that? Yeah. So we did that. I like it's. You got to invest in your clients.
Yeah.
If you're not investing in your clients, and I feel like that's another way of studying the business.
Yeah.
Hopefully they appreciate you enough or love your service enough where they would give you some more business.
That's right.
But if not, you can always ask for ways on how can I improve. I've sent that message out to my people before. How can I improve my business? Not being afraid to get the true feedback, because once I improve my business, then I know that they'll give me more business. I ask for them to give me the business. I'm not afraid to ask for the business as well. So, it's so much that you have to do, I feel, in this business to get business. So it can't just be one.
That's true in most businesses, and that's kind of sort of why we're here today. Is you really have to reinvent yourself in different ways, because the world changes, and there's so many different perspectives from people, and we've been doing magazines and events and social media for 5 years almost now at Real Producers, and now we've started podcasts and videos are kind of the way people communicate now, and so we're adding that to what we do, to tell our stories and get the word out about what we do, and again celebrate top real estate agents in our area. So just being able to, like I said, recreate yourself in new and different ways and all is always important. That and relationships that you build along the way.
Yeah. If you ever want to, put me on the front cover, I think the people are ready.
He'll take it.
Yeah, it's from Rousing Star to the front cover.
There you go. That's true.
Well,
true.
I got a lot to say. That's a definite possibility.
I think people would like that.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to vote?
I hear you.
I'm in.
See? Majority wins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate this. This is it's something where that helps the brand, grows. I like y'all events that y'all host as well. Really appreciate them. So this is something I don't look at it as just one of those things. It's something that I don't take lightly. I'm grateful for it. So thank you.
Well, one thing too, back in 2020 when we did your feature, Real Producers is a franchise, and Real Producers was in probably about 30 or 40 places around the country at that time. It's in over 130 places around the country now, and Real Producers is grown everywhere. And it's a good thing. I know you've probably seen or heard me talk about a portion of every dollar that we bring in from our advertising goes to fight human trafficking.
Oh, wow,
Yeah, so it's just Real Producers is a good thing. And we are excited. And let's talk a little bit about what we just touched on about our next event.
That's right.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
We got our holiday social coming up.
Right.
We need you to come because you sound like you bring the fun.
Oh, yeah.
Bring the party with you.
Bring the party.
I'm laid back there. Y'all got to come to my party,
All right.
Yeah, you got to see like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, we probably can't compare our events.
No, not like that. Not like that. I'm saying I keep it professional there, but, when I see my clients letting loose, I can let loose a little bit. Yeah. It's like
you can let loose with us, too.
Yeah, definitely.
No, it's going to be fun. We're having it over at Table 100.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great time. We're going to have, music, food, drinks. It's gonna be
November the 30th. That's a Thursday from 5:30 to 7:30 at Table 100 in Flowwood.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice be there.
I will be there. We'll be there. Because then on December 9th, you all be
That's
with
right.
me.
That's right.
We're going to have a great time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, look, when we do a podcast, we always talk about, who's fun and who's got a great personality. And so you definitely delivered. This was fun hearing your story, and you definitely have a unique story, which is so interesting. So we're thankful you came and shared with us today.
I appreciate the time.
Look forward to party with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
I'm impressed at where you've come from and where you are now, and I think you've definitely got the right mindset, which is utmost important, and I think you're gonna be fine, Dwight.
Thank you. That's when I knew I was on my way. When I got the random message, I said, "Oh wait, I am doing something right."
That's right.
That's right.
That's when I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this may not be career from me. Y'all send me the message. Would you like to do the podcast?
Right.
I was like, oh, wait, I am doing something right.
Right.
Someone sees me. Yeah. So,
Yep.
We definitely see you. You're doing something right for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I guess that's about a wrap. Again, thanks to Kaylin Partee Photography for handling this video for us.
Always keeping it real, professional.
Yep. And if you're watching this, possibly either you went to it from a link that we put out somewhere, or you can go to our podcast on YouTube at Central MS Real Producers. And you can see all of our podcasts. This is, like I said, I think number 8. Yep. I think it is.
Make sure you subscribe. Yep. We really want everyone to support our agents and our partners that we bring on here. And the way that you do that is you subscribe. That way, every time we have a new episode come out, you get to see it first. And we also are going to do some fun stuff at our next event with our subscribers. Right. So if you want to win some prizes, you better subscribe. Go ahead and get that done now. And
that's right.
We can't wait to see everybody at the event. Y'all come. Be ready to have some fun.
Okay, bye.
Bye.